Welcome to the channel Ephraim. Today we are going to give an update on the Ukrainian crisis. Russia is attacking Ukraine, and what we are seeing right now is the perfect example of why it is important to have knowledge of the Bible. Hosea explains that God's people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. The Ukrainian leadership should be finding a way to make peace with Russia. You, the viewer, may be asking yourself, how is that possible? How is it possible for the Ukrainian leadership to have known this was going to happen before it actually happened? How would having knowledge of the Bible help in Ukraine's situation? Well, one must understand accurately God's symbolism. Ezekiel explains that Russia is going to march on Israel with an alliance. The problem is, most Christians don't understand what Ezekiel is saying because the name Russia isn't used anywhere in the Bible. You see, Ezekiel was told by God to write the name of the people that lived where Russia lives today, because it would be those people that would march on Israel during our time period. Well, you may be thinking, why didn't God just tell Ezekiel that Russia was going to march on Israel? The reason is because the word Russia wasn't invented until the 15th century. The word Russia wasn't in Ezekiel's vocabulary. Now that we understand this, it can be easy to see that Magog is a symbolic name given to Russia. And Ezekiel in chapter 38 is describing how Russia and its alliance will march on Israel. Now that we can understand how Ezekiel refers to Russia as Magog, maybe we can better understand how some of the other prophets refer to Russia. Daniel refers to Russia as the bear in Daniel chapter 7, verse 5. Daniel says that he sees a bear in his vision that was raised up on one of its sides, had 3 ribs in its mouth, in between its teeth, and the bear was told to get up and gorge itself on flesh. That's what we are seeing right now. The majority of the Russian population lives on one side of Russia, the western side. And now Russia is raised up and they are looking for a land route to securely march their troops toward Israel. Let me try to explain this to you real quick logically. Sometimes it's important for us to use our knowledge of the Bible to help us better understand what's going on in the world, so we can use a little logic to figure these events out. Actually, there's example after example of the mistakes Ukraine is making in the Bible. It's a really sad thing to see. No one's questioned Ukrainians' bravery, tremendously brave people, but it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Zelensky, no one's coming to help you. You're on your own. It pains me to say this because I know you're frustrated at America, because it was America that gave its word to Ukraine many years ago by telling y'all to give up your nuclear weapons. It was America that signed the treaty saying that they would help you defend your borders if the time ever arose. Well, that time has come and America's nowhere to be found. Heck, America, we won't even allow Poland to send jets to help you via a base in Germany. It's really sad. It's really sad to see the direction. Look, this is what's going on. America, for whatever reason, has elected a weak leader. Now, global leaders all over the world are going to try to take advantage of this before America has a chance to elect a strong leader. That's what you're seeing right now. And Russia wants the oil in the Middle East. If America is going green, then Russia wants to be in position to, to control that region in the Middle East, the oil, before America can elect a stronger leader that decides we're going to go a different direction. We're going to go back to using oil. And and you're caught in between their land route that they want to use. Now, you have to have knowledge of the Bible to be able to put these pieces together. That's why it's important to have knowledge of the Bible. Daniel gives a symbolic name for Russia being the bear. And it's saying it's going to raise up on one of its sides and gorge itself on the flesh. In other words, anyone that tries to stop it, anyone that tries to stop Russia from going to the Middle East. How do we know they're going to? Because Ezekiel explains in chapter 38 that God is going to use them to march on Israel. Now, the event, this is where you have to know the Bible. Daniel 7:5 leads into the destruction of Egypt by America, a symbolic Babylon. The destruction of Egypt is what is going to allow Russia to form its alliance so that now they have a reason to attack Israel because they really just want the oil. Now they have a reason to attack Israel to claim the oil. If America takes out one of Russia's alliance members, then Russia has a right to take out one of America's alliance members. That's what's happening right now. And they're coming through your land, whether you allow them or not. Let me share this example in the Bible real quick. Look, Josiah was a godly man. We know he was a godly man. He just got the temple in order. Necho wants to march his Egyptian army through Israel to fight Babylon. Josiah comes out to meet him, to stop him. And Necho explains to him, "O great king of Judah, I'm not on my way to fight you. I'm on my way to fight another dynasty. Don't oppose me because God told me to hurry. And if you oppose me, then you're opposing God, and God's going to allow you to be destroyed." Josiah doesn't listen. He engages Necho in battle. He disguises himself and ends up receiving a deadly wound by an arrow. His servants have to carry him to Jerusalem, where he dies, and all of Jerusalem mourns. And guess what? Necho still marched his army through Israel. Zelensky, find a way to make peace because no one's coming to help you. Make peace. Ukrainian Christians, escape. Escape to countries that'll take you in that's not in line with the route Russia wants to use. I would not be escaping to Romania. I would not be escaping to Bulgaria. Or if you do escape, you better tell their leadership, let them march through. Because if you fight them, you're going to lose terribly. Because it's what God said. God said that's going to happen. It's not my words. That's in the Bible. Period. So that's the end of it. Y'all, there's so much more I could share, but I don't have time to share it on this video. America, you're responsible for this. In God's eyes, God holds you responsible. If you don't understand, if American Christians still do not understand that America is Mystery Babylon, then you don't want to understand. Because it's plain as day. And I tell you what, I can't talk about it now. I'm trying to keep the video short. I'll talk about it on my next video. Y'all, that's my time. Please pray for Ukraine. Pray that Ukrainian Christians escape. Pray that Ukrainian leadership will make peace before it's too late. That's my time on the channel, Ephraim. Y'all know the drill. Peace out. I'm chilling.